blend in and help it survive. All right. We're not going to write this one down because I think you guys are doing well with this, but so if we're looking at the fox on the left, again, we're talking about the thicker fur, the white fur that's going to help it survive. Now, the fox on the right obviously lives in a completely different environment, right? So, what does the fox on the right have? You guys are talking over me. What does the fox on the right have differently from the one on the left that helps it adapt to its environment? Amber? The color of its fur, absolutely, based on its environment. What else? There's definitely one more big thing. I never heard from you a lot. Marcus? What was that? Yeah, the actual environment is much different. Good. And what about, I don't know if you guys can see as well, but the guy on the left, his fur looks pretty fluffy, right? What about, oh, is that what you can say? Go ahead. Good, yep. So, when we're talking about like fur thickness, this one's fur is a lot thicker because it lives in a lot cooler environment, a lot thinner fur because it lives in the warmer environment. All right, key idea number 4 is both these new adaptations and variations, this is all going to stem from mutation, okay? I told you mutation was going to come up again in evolution, and this is where it comes up. Yes? That would, adaptations is going to be something that, it's not something like physical that you bring, it would be like you yourself would have to, I'm trying to think of how to explain this. So, what was that?
Learning new ways.
So, I want to be careful though, because a lot of you guys have talked about this. Evolution is not really something that happens in one lifetime. Evolution happens because of the traits you're passing on. Okay? And we'll get into that a little bit more when we talk about natural selection. Good one. Right. So that is more evolution and evolution, the process of changing over time, isn't going to be something that changes in one lifetime. So it's not going to be like me going in like rubbing like or dirt to like blend it. Like that's not an adaptation. Or me like learning how to swim faster is not an adaptation. What would be an adaptation is like the fact that you had a mutation that made you swim faster, you pass that on to your children. Yeah, but wait until we get to the natural selection stuff, okay? Keep this ideas in mind. Wait till we get to natural selection. Okay? All right, voices off, eyes back up here. Voices off, eyes back up here. Okay, so mutations. So your second question on the boards is how do variations and adaptations occur? It's all from mutations. So let's say I am that fox, okay? I'm the fox that's the darker fox, and then I went to where it's a snowy environment, right? Then all of a sudden there was a mutation, and then I had a pup that had white fur. That pup that has white fur, that mutation is beneficial, and that leads to adaptations that are going to be passed on, right? Keep these ideas in mind, though. We're going to continue with this on Thursday and Friday when we do natural selection. Yes? Yeah. Yep. So, definitely, white tigers are rare, and that, like, stemmed from a mutation. Yeah. A lot of them.
White tigers by humans. Like the white tigers are like humans like the ones evolving them.
Yeah, so a lot of white tigers, actually white tigers we try and breed tigers to get white tigers, so a lot of people like find white tigers to be like really valuable and stuff, and they want white tigers, so we try and immediately breed to get white tigers. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So that's kind of like later in this unit, we'll talk about some more stuff, but yeah. All right. No. Yeah, that's okay. So part one of this is almost done. So I want you guys right now in your notes to answer these 3 questions silently. You guys have been very chatty today. I know you're excited, but silently answering these 3 questions. Okay? Just to kind of make sure we're all on the same page with what we have talked about. 4. Environment, good. Tell me your name. Shania. Okay, sorry. Shania, absolutely. Environment, adaptations are based on the environment. And number 5, somebody else who hasn't spoken. Somebody, no. Anyone else who hasn't spoken today? All right, I'll take Steven on here from you once. Good, exactly. The fur is going to be like camouflage. Good. All right, this is our last slide, and then I'm going to have you guys do the reading activity. Okay, so last slide. I know it's a lot. So this is the guy behind evolution, and you guys are going to read a lot more about him in your activity that's coming up. So Charles Darwin is the guy who kind of is credited with the theories of evolution and natural selection, which we're going to be learning about later this week. What Amber was talking about, he went to these islands, called the Galapagos Islands, and he saw that there was different birds on these islands that all looked the same and were part of the same species, but they had different beaks. And so he said, okay, on this island, there's a certain type of food. Like there's more nuts here, so they're going to have different types of beaks than the island where there's more berries, that kind of thing. And so what he hypothesized was these finches must have adapted to their environment because they lived on the different islands. That's kind of the basis of where people credit evolution from coming from. Yeah.
Is there a female person that
Like Rosalinda or
discovered something more?
So there are other people who kind of evolved theories with Darwin. So there's like Malthus. Yeah. So there's other people who kind of had ideas similar to this, but he's the guy who gets most of the credit. So there are other people who played into it. So it wasn't just him, but he's kind of the main guy. He wrote a book. All right, while you guys are writing that down, I'm going to pass out your reading assignment. I will tell you exactly what I want you to do, so don't start yet. And you guys are chatty today, so you guys get to read out loud to each other, which is perfect. So hard. Yeah, you're going to do it in your group. I'll give you the directions in a second. Yeah, this is the last slide. There's very kind of specific directions to this, so pay attention. All right, what you guys are going to do, in your groups, you guys are going to go through and you're going to read this out loud to one another. How you will do this is, if this is the group of 3, popcorn reading, right. So Erica's going to read the first paragraph, Lexi second, Bobby third, fourth, fifth, sixth, until the article is done, okay? So that's the first step. Nobody should be talking right now. So first step is to read it out loud to one another. As you're going through, you guys are going to underline or highlight interesting facts, stuff you have questions about, anything like that, okay? Then what you guys are going to do is, in your groups, you're going to all separately write a $2 summary. A $2 summary means you have 10 cents per word. So how many words can you use? 20, okay? But you do not have to count words like a, and, the, and but, okay? So you want to get the gist of this article in 20 words, okay? So you guys are going to write a $2 summary. If you go over by 10 cents, 20 cents, I'm fine with that, but keep it around that 20-word limit. All right, now what you are going to do, you're going to wait for your group members to get done, and you guys are all going to read your summaries to one another. All right, then number 1 says, did anyone have other important details in their summary that you did not include? So you are going to figure out, okay, maybe Bobby has some really good piece of information that I didn't include. That's what I'm going to write for number 1. All right, that's the end of your group part, then the rest is on your own. If you guys look to the front of the page, you see passage 1, 2, 3 and response. What you guys are going to do there is you are going to find some sentence, part of a sentence, something like that that is interesting to you, that you have a question about, that applies to what we learned, anything like that. And then you guys are going to copy that passage down, or if you were lazy and you don't feel like copying, you guys can label like passage number 1, highlight it, write me a little symbol if you don't want to rewrite it. And then you guys are going to write a response, like, I think this sentence was interesting because it talks about how Darwin found, came up with evolution, which we just talked about in class today, something like that. Or, how did Darwin go about doing this? Like, those kind of things. Write some sort of reaction about it. Don't just write, I think this is cool. That's not going to count. You're not going to get credit for that. Don't write something like that. All right. Once you get that done, you're going to go back, and then you have 4 more questions to answer based on the article. Once you get that done, turn it all in, put your name on it, and then work on your summary and your Cornell questions for tonight. Are there any questions? All right, so I should hear you guys reading it out loud to one another. I'm going to have Fred and Amber work with this group of 2 over here, okay? So Fred, Amber, Brittany, and Alejandro, you guys will all be in a group. All right, the rest of you get started reading, and let me know if you have questions.
Darwin worked on this study for 20 years after learning that another naturalist, Alfred Russel Wallace, had developed ideas. The 2 made a joint announcement of their discovery in 1858. In 1859, Darwin published On the Origin of Species by Means of Natural Selection.